In the latest update of the game, a lot of people are being led on to the belief that super heavies are no longer strong, which I highly disagree with. Yesterday I made my tier list where I put the E100 into the strong category, and the VK72 still sits as one of the strongest tier 10s in the game. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing why vehicles like the E100 are still incredibly capable in the battlefield, why even though they have gotten a slight armor nerf, and the overall penetration of vehicles have gotten better, yet it really doesn't affect this vehicle in its overall playstyle. Well, let's first of all talk about one of the major reasons, and that is the fact that this tank has 2,750 health even with enhanced armor on. That's a lot of hit points. And usually, to penetrate an E100 turret, you're going to have to be loading premium ammo. So even if you can penetrate the turret with gold, you're going to be dropping your average damage by around 40 to 50 depending on what type of vehicle you're driving. Which means in medium, that has normally 3,500 DPM, is going to go down to 3,000, maybe 2,800 DPM. When you pair that with the fact that this tank features a 680 damage per shot gun, yeah, you can start to realize where the E100's capabilities come into play. When people are shooting gold rounds at this tank, and you have the ability to return fire, dealing double, sometimes triple the damage fired at you, you're going to be able to deal a lot. Now, unfortunately, our STB doesn't want to do anything on A side, which sucks, because I would love to drive my heavy over towards A, which is the best way to go on this map, especially when you get this spawn. It's flat better than the other spawn. But it looks like we're going to be driving the town. Now, that's not that big of a deal, because we are in a super heavy, but it still could be a little bit sussler here. We can see the enemy Bashation has made his way up there. I can't tell you how much I hate when teammates drive behind me. To be honest, it wouldn't have mattered there, and if that 260 was behind me, I would have just stopped and he wouldn't have been able to move. But as we can see, nothing has stepped in the base B as of yet. I'm not going to worry about base cap. I'm going to try and use what this tank doesn't have, which is mobility, to catch that chieftain out before the enemy team starts moving up on base A. Weirdly enough, we can see that the rest of the enemy team is also kind of over here. I don't know what the enemy team is doing. Well, we're going to aim it on the C100. And there you go. 684 damaging shell right into the enemy already. It's a great example of where this tank just chunks. I mean, the fact that you can roll 680 damage in this vehicle alone is incredible. Got the 268 on our side, and we're going to aim in on that 268. Get a nice 630 shot, and now we back up. So already we've been able to get 2 shells into our opponents, and those are some nasty shells we've been able to rip out as well. This 268 is most likely going to be trying to reverse out of here. However, I'm going to make that as challenging as possible for this 268. We also got the Yag in the back, who is an AFK player, but really not that big of a threat. I'm just going to push this 268, and we're going to see if we can... Well, actually... no, we're not able to shoot that. Alright, let's just poke the 268 at this point. There you go. Look at that. 770 roll. Now, I know that shooting AFK tanks is kind of sussler, but I feel like... yeah, I was going to say maybe I could shoot that bat chat, but I feel like it's kind of free when I have a Yag Panzer just sitting out in front of me here, so we're going to aim in. There you go. 664 damage. The only other tanks left is the Yo anyway. Our team is most likely going to be pushing the Shag, so I think we're only going to be able to get one more shell out here. So let's aim in on his lower plate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a chonk. Yeah, I kind of figured the rest of our team was going to be pushing on him anyway, so I don't think we made a bad play at all there. Now, we do have to worry about base cap, but thankfully our Sheridan is still alive, and we do have an Object 260, which means we have mobility on the team, which is obviously quite important. As much as I would love to be able to get a shell into that Bashation, I'm not able to do it just yet, which is a little bit sucky. But what I'm hoping is that this bat chat crosses in the open here, and we're able to get a shell out. But he still might do it. He still might. Come on, bat chat. Is he not going to cross it? I'm really hoping he does. Come on. Yeah, there you go. I could have fired an HE, but I think it's more beneficial just to load an AP in that type of situation, just because I guaranteed the pen, and we took what was a pretty healthy vehicle and absolutely stripped his HP away. So all that's left is a Yo and a bat chat who's a one-shot, who's not that big of a deal. I'm going to be pushing the Yo, obviously. See if we can get some damage out into his tank. Aiming, and there you go. Nice juicer of 730. This is why the E100 is such a capable tank, though. I mean, sure, you might not feature the most armor in Tier 10. You might not feature the most DPM. But what you do have is a gun that really doesn't care about much. That's really the best way to describe it. Alright, well, we got the yo, and over the ridge we go. And we're just going to slightly tap him, and he's dead. Well, all that's left is the Balshation. We are already over 5,000 damage, and that's a win. We bled 0 HP this game. Now, I don't know how that's possible. It's not like we played passive. We literally drove side on in front of a 268. And not only did we get the shell out before him, but we high rolled it and killed him for 770. The yo bounced us twice, even though we were fully side on to him as well. Yeah, we kind of had a lot of free situations stuck in front of us, but I'm not going to complain. The amount of bad teams I get dealt, I will take a bad team that the enemy has once in a while. And it was a good example of why the E100 still feels quite strong as well. I mean, the gun on this thing just chunks. It really does. It's very hard to counter a tank that has the ability to just take a third of your health off in a medium or a fourth of your health off in a heavy. So here we are, once again. We're going to be driving over towards base C. We have a 60 TP, WZ-113. I mean, we got a strong lineup here. We have a Sheridan. They have a Caro, though. So we do have and a T-62. Yeah, we have a flat disadvantage in mediums. Like, really, bro? We get a T-54E1 and they get 2 tier 10s? That sucks. But we do have an advantage on heavies. So let's just really hope that the enemy team doesn't dig wide. Oh, boy. Hopefully that Caro gets bonked. That's all I can say. We are slowly making it over here. The AMX 50B already gets bled out, which is a little nice. And I wonder if that Caro is going to try and cross that well. At this point, if the Caro does, he's going to get nuked. Yeah, really bad plays from that Caro, honestly. We got the enemy 50 TP in the open. Oh, man, that sucks. That really sucks, because that could have been a juicer, especially because the 50 TP is tracked in the open. But at the end of the day, we just weren't able to get that shell out. We're going to reload here. And we are going to move up. We're going to aim it on the Foch. And aiming. Actually, he's going to over-angle his side. Wow, what an awful AP roll. 570. That's about as bad as they get. I'm going to pretend like we have a shell. That 50B has no clue we don't. So if we just sit here and we pretend we do, we can just wait on a reload. This is where, obviously, again, having high alpha does come in handy. As much as I want to shoot that 50 TP, we don't have the ability to at the current moment. Minnow tries shooting at me, and 50B pokes. There you go. 732 shot into his tank. Let me back up, bro. Bro, you absolute monkey man. It's not hard to let your teammate back up. Alright, well, 50B is no longer healthy, and honestly, the rest of the enemy team is following suit pretty quickly. The Minnow misses me, and what I'm hoping right now is that we can kind of squeeze on up, maybe get to the side of this player. We do have that 183 over here, which is a big threat, but I'm not too worried. There you go. 590 into the Minnow. Oh, but is the 183 just going to shoot us for free? Thank God he misses. We have a 113 just sitting here, and yeah, it's a bit disappointing. You can see the problem with our medium flank. It's that they left for some reason. Our Sheridan is in base A. Why? I don't know. But I'm going to be backing out of here right now. I can tell you that for a fact. We're going to aim it on the Minnow. And there you go. Another shot into his hatch. This is why Refined Gun is a little bit nutty. We got a good angle there. Got a bounce from the enemy Minnow. Yeah, that Minnow definitely needs to figure out what he's doing, because he is missing very easy shells on my tank. While the E100 armor is pretty decent, I can't say it's that good to the point where a Minnow should be bouncing me with the majority of the shots it shoots. We have the 50 TP on our flank, and we'll just fire an 8. Huh? That's an interesting one. I expected that to deal at least some damage, but our HE did 0 to that enemy player. Okay, well, the good news is that we're up on base cap, and the better news is that we are still pretty healthy. So the enemy team has almost no chance of actually pushing me here. Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you gonna do? You died too early. Interesting name for somebody that drove out and got tracked multiple times. The 62A is gonna leave, and oh, we got a 183. Well, that hurts, but at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt that much. You're dead, and I'm not. We're just going to angle our vehicle this way so the Caro doesn't have the ability to track me, and we back into cover. And once again, we have 680 damage per shot. So this Caro literally can't even, well, really deal with me in this current time frame. Let's see if that Caro tries crossing. That sucks. We hit him in the gun mantlet. The only spot we couldn't pen the Caro is where we hit him. Oh well, I thought his turret wasn't going to be facing towards me, and it was, so he got kind of lucky, I guess. Alright, well, we got 4 seconds left on our reload, and I'm just going to drive right over. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, I can tell you what you're not going to do, and that's going to live. There you go, ladies and gents. A 4,000 damage game from the E-100, and this is why the vehicle is so good. It has so much HP, and it still has armor. And when you pair that with the fact that this vehicle deals 680 damage per shot, I mean, it's just such a hard tank to counter. It really is. And as long as you're able to hold with that level of damage, you can do some very, very good things. So this game we did 3,900 damage. We are going to obviously do top on the team, and we ended up winning. This Sheridan, bro, what the hell are you doing? Why are you driving? You had the medium flank one, and then you just go over to base A and cap it? Like, what's going on here? Thankfully, I was smart enough to back out of the position I was in, but if that minnow was smart, definitely could have absolutely ruined my game, but thankfully, he bounced like every shell he fired. Either way, the E-100 is a fantastic tank, and you can see why. I mean, the gun just hits really hard. I've only played 15 games in the tank, but I'm doing pretty good in it for those 15 games, as we can see, and it just shows why having such a high alpha damage and a lot of HP can go a long way. So, let me know what you guys think. But I can tell you for a fact that the E-100 is still a very strong tank, and you're not going to suffer in it if you know what you're doing. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.